Hi guys, okay, today I want to talk about the path to victory is not straight. So now a lot of people in this time have set themselves new goals, new challenges, and when they set themselves new goals, new challenges, it seems pretty straightforward and you go, right, if I do this, this and this, I'll achieve this. Well, this is what you've got to do. You've got to sign into the inevitable that things don't always go to plan. But if you keep moving forward, you're going to get there in the end. I'm going to give an example, right? So most people, I'm going to use weight loss or fat loss, whichever way you want to look at it, depending on what you're looking for. Most people's goals are to achieve X, and to get there, they have a plan. And they think it's just, all I'm going to do is if I start here, this is where I start, and I want to finish here, which is my target weight and my target body fat, and this is where I am. All I've got to do is I keep doing the same thing every day or every week, and I'm going to eventually be there. It doesn't happen that way. If you look at most people, so if you watch anybody's diet plan over a long period of time, over a year, 2 years, I've been doing this my whole adult life, following people's diet plans, people's weight loss, then it never happens in a straight line. It looks like this. And if you look at the graphs, and I know Slimming World, they do this, they make graphs. I know somebody who runs a Slimming World, and they look at the graphs and look at as they move out through the time. So, starting points, target weight, right? And it goes like this. See that? Right, you get the point, right? Now these ups, in this period of time, so many people go, oh, there's no point, I can't do it, I give up. If that person gave up there, they'll never achieve this. You can't always think, well, I'm doing good, that's it, I'm going to go do good, and that's it forever, I don't need to ever have to worry about it again. You have to keep applying it. This might have been a weekend out with the friends. It might have been that time of the month. It might have been you just retained water because the temperature of the day. It could have been anything. If you give up because of something, a blip, that's it, it's over. You've got to set in for these up and downs. No one does this, okay? Maybe over a short period of time, if I just looked at this section here, and right at the start they went down, but the long-term gains, guys, lifelong positive results. Look at the long-term gain. It's up and down, and that's the way it is. And guys, this doesn't just work, cut that off, in weight loss and fat loss. You've got to think about this now. Guys, when I'm talking about people about success and they're trying to achieve results, they're trying to achieve goals, so forget about weight loss, remember, to victory. That's just one goal people have. They want to save a certain amount of money, or they want to build an empire, or they just want to get stronger, or whatever their goal is to achieve something. They start here, the end point is here. You're going to find they go up and down. It's like a mountain range. They have bad days, good days, something happens. Corona kicks in, right? And then bang, there's a recession. It ain't your fault. It's what you learn in this section which gets you here again. If you give up here, you're never going to achieve this. How many people, we've all done it, right? We've gone, oh, having a bad day, it doesn't work, forget it. The reason why these people here, who are these real winners? The real winners. And you look and go, oh, and you only see them at the top and you go, well, they've got it easy. You go, you didn't see all this. This is the pathway, the mountain range. Think about it, no mountain range is, you start at the bottom and it's uphill. It goes down, up, down, up, down, up. Now, the way I like to think of it, guys, is if you're driving, if you drive a car, when you drive a car, what are you constantly doing? You're readjusting, aren't you? This car goes off and you bring it back in. Hopefully not too far off or you're going to crash. But you don't just hold in one place and you're still the whole time. If you look to the pathway, and they do this with flight paths with airplanes, the airplane is off track more than it's on track, but it always ends up where it needs to go. Okay. The reason is because it keeps readjusting and redirecting. If anything, right, the redirecting part, you learning to drive and having to pull it back on, when it goes off, pull it back on, is what makes you a better driver. If you never learned how to pull the car back in, when you get maybe a tragic accident happens in front of you, or you just have to, a bird flies in front, how are you going to learn how to readjust? It's the readjusting that builds the strength. It's a learning how to deal with this, or learning how to deal with this, which builds a real strength. This part's the easy part, right? Everything's going well, easy peasy. How do you deal when it goes back down again? If you're trying to lose weight, how do you deal with this bit? You had a bad weekend. Friends came round, they brought you cake, it was your birthday, someone else's birthday, whatever it was. Okay, maybe you couldn't train, or maybe you did train and you retained water, whatever it is. Okay, if you focus on the failure part and that's all, You're missing the point. If I'm driving and I constantly go, oh, I'm offline all the time, those opportunities to bring yourself back in again, fine tune you. Also, when something tragic does happen, you're able to adjust much better. In kickbox, we talk about like you're never going to land in the same spot all the time. Landing in different spots and training all the time teaches you how to readjust and bring yourself back to your strongest point. If you don't go off balance, how are you going to learn how to bring yourself back onto balance again? Keep going off balance, but keep your end in mind. What's the end in mind? Create whatever the end is, keep your mindset on it and go, right, I'm ready for the up and down bits. Think about it. You're never going to get to the top of the mountain if you expect only to go uphill. You've got to be ready to go down and back up again, down and back up again. These sections here, whatever it might be. Now, I advise you, when it happens, draw yourself a graph if you're trying to lose weight or a goal of money or whatever it might be, or strength. If you're trying to focus on these bits, what happened? How could you adjust it? Let it go sometimes. You just got to let it go. Get your mind off it. I guarantee you guys, this is the obvious path. So like Walt Disney, right? Walt Disney, look what he achieved. How many times did he do this? And look what he achieved. And it's just one example, there's 100 examples. I know Michael Jordan has brought something out recently about this, about how many times he missed shots, how many times he failed. It's not those. Winners don't focus on those being the pullbacks, they focus on those being the lessons learned. Lesson learned, zigzag. Be okay about your zigzags. Bring it back down again, or take it back up again. Peace out. Path to victory is not a straight line. Enjoy the wiggles.